We can start by choosing the type of foundations required for the job using these graphics. The program has options for raft, trench, or pile foundations. You may have more than one type on the same job, but in this example, I will choose trench foundations. We can enter the information directly into the red cells in the sheet, or you may prefer to click on the thumbnail pictures for a visual explanation and enter the dimensions into these. The program has several methods of helping and guiding you at every step, so there's no need for an instruction manual. There are these helpful 3D graphics that give a visual explanation of certain aspects of the information required. The blue question mark icons open static 3D images, and the red ones, or the thumbnail pictures, open images where you can enter information or select options. For example, this blue question mark icon opens an image of a trench foundation. This red question mark icon opens a 3D image where you can enter the information required. The oversight area measurement in this example. The thumbnails open images with further options and boxes to enter information, which I will do during this demo. I will now start entering some numbers and dimensions into the program. These red cells require the number of corners the house has. I will click this thumbnail to open the 3D image, where I can enter the information, instead of using the cells. Just so you know, the images throughout the program are of the actual house I am pricing in this movie. The house has 10 external corners, 6 internal corners, and 4 runs of internal foundations. I've entered this information directly into the picture. The total run of foundations is 79 linear meters. The excavation depth is 1 meter, the foundation width is 0.6 of a meter, and the concrete below ground level is 0.3 of a meter. Don't forget, if there is anything in the program you don't understand, click on the thumbnail image to view a graphical explanation. As mentioned, you can enter the dimensions directly into these if you prefer. Now I come to some blue cells that mean they need my judgment. The program would not be able to guess or calculate some of the information required, so these are colour-coded blue so you know where to fill in information. This blue cell needs the number of days for setting out the site, so I will enter 1 day. Notice the program has calculated all stakes and profiles required with the costs and the labour hours in these white cells. If we look at this row, it is asking for the number of days for manual excavation. I will be using a digger, and I'll enter 3 days for this. If you wish, you can change the default description. I will choose a 3.5 ton machine to excavate the foundations. Notice it has also brought in the daily hire rate from the central library, along with the delivery, collection, and daily fuel cost in the green cells. All these prices and rates can be edited in the central library, and I'll show you this later. The program has worked out the hire cost for the 3 days hire, including the delivery, collection, and fuel costs in this plant column here. The hours for the excavation and labour costs are here in the relevant columns. The entire program works in this way, accurately calculating as much information as it possibly can, with minimum input from you. There is an option for shoring of foundations, but I'll skip this, and for the dumper I will enter 3 days. Again, it has brought in the costs for this. I can then choose the method for the disposal of soil. The program has worked out the cubic meters of soil to be removed. The default is an 8-yard skip, but to change this, I can click on the yellow drop box or the thumbnail image. I will select the tipper lorry with grab. It then tells me I need 2 of these to remove the soils. There are options for reinforcement that you can open here. Just tick the box and all the reinforcement is worked out for you. If you are wondering how the program has calculated these numbers, just click the question mark in that row, and the graphic explains it. Here it shows 2 bars are allowed for in the top row, and 2 in the bottom. These defaults can be changed if required. The same applies to many of the other rows within the program. program has worked out the concrete required for the foundations, and again, I can change the yellow cells that have default values like this one for the loads they will be delivered in. Remember that yellow cells mean they are already filled in, but need to be checked and perhaps changed. This yellow cell shows the hours recommended for the filling of foundations. For this, you can click on the red question mark to view the graphics that explain how and why this many hours has been recommended. This really is up to you, because the hours can vary depending on whether the foundations are easy for the delivery lorry to reach. With a rear extension, you may have to manually barrow the concrete round the back of the property, in which case you should increase the hours cell. The wastage cells are also yellow, highlighting that these have default entries, but can be changed if required. The total costs for each stage of the job are all worked out for you here, at the bottom of each section of this sheet. These plant, material, hours and labour costs are for the foundation stage of the job.